I was thinking, do you need to cut alcohol out of your diet to get to your goals? Probably not. You can probably get there with alcohol in your diet. Now, is it going to delay your recovery? Probably. Is it going to impact the way you train? Yeah, most likely. And the thing is, you have to understand, we live in a Western world where everything's celebrated through food and alcohol, right? Like, if something happens that you want to celebrate, everyone goes out to eat food and drinks alcohol, right? Just a little pre-workout before the gym here. And that's kind of hard because you don't want to be that person who's like, no, I'm not drinking. But how important are your goals? And how important are your fitness goals to you? Because that's what it's going to come down to. And if it's important, you might have to say no sometimes. Listen, I drink alcohol occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally. I wouldn't say it's part of my day-to-day, but here and there, right? Celebrating something like everything else, I drink a little bit of alcohol. And this is the way it was taught to me that made me kind of change the way I look at it, okay? And let me teach it to you and hopefully maybe resonate the same. Now, the first question you need to ask is calories from alcohol the same calories as food? And the answer is yes and no. That's the short answer. But does your body process this the same? No, completely not. And that's where the difference is. The difference is when you consume alcohol, because it's toxin to your body, your liver has to process it because it has nowhere to store it. Your body is not able to store alcohol. So the way it was taught to me was like this. Imagine your body is the house, right? And you have three workers. You have the builder, which is the protein. You have the carbs, which is your electrician that gives you kind of the energy. And then you have your fats, which is like your reserved energy source for later, right? Your generator and stuff like that. So now imagine alcohol just comes into the picture, hazard spills everywhere in the house, right? That alcohol is not one of the three workers. It needs to get cleaned up and out of there immediately, okay? Because your body is not able to store alcohol, it needs to get rid of it. So your liver will start breaking it down immediately. Now, what do you think happens to your fat burning, your muscle gaining, and your recovery while all this has to get processed? It gets put on a back burner. It gets put on hold. And I don't know about you, but does anyone drink alcohol and not eat anything? Because it's very easy to crush a whole pizza or a burger or fries when you're eating alcohol, right? Your ability to make decisions as you drink alcohol are questionable, let's put it that way. So what do you think happens to that food you're eating? I'm not saying it's going to get stored in fat, but it's most likely going to get stored in fat. By the time the alcohol is done processing and out of your system, that burger that you ate will get stored. So that's the difference with alcohol. The alcohol, when it enters the body, it becomes priority and needs to get out. Because of that, everything else gets put on hold. And that's what can delay all your goals. Right, guys? And that's the way it was taught to me. And I was like, man, that's a good way to say it. And another one real quick. Another one was, if you're building a fire, right? We've all built fires. We've all been to cottages and stuff. So if you have the logs are basically your main source of food. And if you throw cardboard in that fire, what do you think is going to happen? That cardboard is going to burn immediately. It's toxic. It's going to burn right away. And that's kind of how you have to look at alcohol. The logs get kind of put to the side while the cardboard is fully disintegrated, right? And that's kind of how you have to look at alcohol. So I'm not saying you have to cut it out of your diet. I'm not saying stop drinking alcohol. All I'm saying is be mindful that if you are consuming alcohol on a regular basis and your goals are stalling, might be the alcohol. So keep it simple, guys, and just think a little bit if how serious you are, and if you're that serious, maybe it's something you should look into. Okay? I'll talk to the next one.